So yeah, yesterday I was talking about this kind of corrective move, right? A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, we've kind of front run the point of control here. I'm using the combined chart, so it's the joined volume. And I saw today that we're getting a little bit of accumulation here. Some kind of big limit orders were absorbing the selling, and now we've kind of broken that level, that kind of area, just simply because probably the limit orders have diminished, and now we're trying to pull back. This is as far as I'm concerned, this should be the last corrective move here, and then we really have to see an impulsive move. Really, like, if we don't get an impulsive move after this, then actually it's going to be weird, huh? It's going to look weird. It's not going to look correct. This, as far as I'm concerned, is the wave 2. Or it could be the wave 3. Like, this is, the jury is out. It's not, it's speculatively a wave 1 of 5. Yeah, speculatively, to continue doing our 3. The reason why I'm speculating is because I think this is the 3 of the 3, so it should be quite bullish, and therefore I'm not imagining that we've just finished the 3 already. Like, I'm not thinking to myself, that was the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, and then we're gonna have a 4 and a 5 and a correction. I mean, it is possible, and then the whole thing is a 1, but I'm not imagining that this is the 3. We'll have to see what happens. Like, you have to kind of, we'll see, because if the next one should be really bullish, if we're not going to get a really bullish impulse, if we're going to get like a mediocre impulse, the next one, and just kind of struggle, then actually I might have to reevaluate this whole kind of Elliott wave move and contemplate something slightly different. All right, and that something slightly different could be that this was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. Yeah, so I just have to see what happens next to kind of determine the way these are drawn. So at the moment, just because of the context of the bull market and ETH BTC coming into some higher time frame support levels, showing a little bit of bullishness at some key support levels, BTC hitting higher prices, I am considering that this one, next one, should be really quite impulsive. And actually that was our 1 there, this was our 2, and we're in the 1 of the 3, 2 of the 3, we're about to go into the 3 of the 3. So the 3 of the 3 here, I do want to see some kind of really impulsive move. Yeah, if I start seeing a mediocre move, yeah, a mediocre move here, which takes a little bit longer, not very impulsive, then I might be thinking to myself, okay, well, actually, that's not right. If it's mediocre, maybe that was the 1, this is the 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so slightly, then I'll be looking at it slightly differently, like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to complete the wave 1 like this. Yeah, so I don't know if that makes sense. So effectively, still subjective. Nothing changes when it comes to the lack of subjectivity, but there are ways that you can draw Elliott waves to present whatever bias you have, and it's good to kind of consider different biases, and then you have to come back and evaluate as you get new data, as you get new market information. And so I don't know. I literally don't know. I am expecting another impulse, and yes, this could have been 1, 2, that could have been the 3. That was a weaker, if that was the 3, it's a weaker 3. Yeah, and then therefore the 5 has to be weaker than the 3, and that would probably take us to there, and that would be the end of the wave 1. Okay, and so that's also something else that I'm considering. If this next wave is really bullish, really impulsive, then this is incorrect. because wave 3 can't be the shortest. Does that make sense? So if we get a short wave here, shorter than the 3, I might be thinking this. If we get a big wave here, then actually this can't be correct. It's impossible to be correct. So there's a caveat to what can happen. Yeah. And then I have to go back to my original idea, which is that we've had our 1, we've had our 2, and this is just the one of the next set of waves, which the whole thing is a 3. All right, and that's simply because the 3 can't be the shortest in the as far as the rules are concerned. And so if I bring my other idea up here, in this context, the 3 would be shorter, and therefore this 5 would have to be shorter. Okay, so let me just kind of ponder this. I think this correction that we have in is extremely bullish, coming on this confluence of fib time, coming on the beginning of possibly what is about to be a crazy alt season. I still am inclined to think we're going to have a crazy impulsive move, but I mean, no one can predict the future, and so I have no idea. So I've got 2 ideas of going up in mind. If we're going to have a limp push up, the most that this could push up is a 1-to-1. That it can't go beyond a 1-to-1, and that's when we'll know what kind of wave this is. Then this next impulsive wave, if it's going to be wherever this starts. So I don't know how far this is going to pull back either. Let's just say hypothetically it comes back to this previous range point of control here, where I've marked out somewhere here. Don't know really. I'm just making that up, to be honest with you. Then, you know, the most that this 5 could be would take us to about 9 cents. That would be the most. If we get to 9 cents and that's it, and it can't get any more, you just can't get further, yeah, then actually this whole thing becomes your wave 1, and you're in a 2 correct. Then you're in a 2 correction, A, B, C, 2 correction. All right. I'm not thinking like this, but I'm just contemplating all possibilities of what could happen, simply because the 3 can't be the shortest. In this context, the 3 is slightly shorter than the 1, and therefore the 5 would have to be shorter. If the next wave, we end up with a bigger wave, which is really what I'm expecting a bigger wave, yeah, just because of the context of where we're at in the bull market, then I would be thinking, I would be thinking what I originally was thinking before, which was something like this, where we've completed the wave 1, we've had a really bullish corrective wave 2, which is kind of like a flat, some kind of flat, and this is actually this is the 3, but we've just completed the 1 of the 3. This is the correction of the 1 of the 3, and then with the next wave we're going into a kind of a more expansive 3 of this kind of this next 3 wave. And actually then you really, I think I am aiming for 17 cents. Like if we now see an impulsive move that takes us to 17 cents, then we know where we are. We know we're in this kind of move. We're in this kind of expansive bullish move. And actually then I really will be thinking, let's take it all the way to the golden pocket. That's what I'll be thinking. I won't be thinking that's the end. I'll be thinking actually this has legs and we can go much further to higher prices. Okay, if this is the one, fret not. So going back to my kind of alternative idea, fret not. There's nothing to be afraid of, because it means we haven't even begun the 3 yet. And so that takes me back to this. And then what you're ending up here, what you're ending up doing here is clearing the liquidity from 9 cents at the end of this 5 wave. And then you're looking for a corrective move, probably all the way back down to 5.5, probably maybe up to there. And then we're going to expand in our wave 3 at the beginning of maybe January, maybe, you know, like whenever this correction ends, with some kind of the beginning of the crazy alts, and that would actually then be our wave 3, because then you'll be looking at 1 to 2, 0 to 1 for an ABC to 2 here, and then you'll be looking for a 3. I don't like this, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this idea, but it's possible. Okay, it's possible. And it's possible again that this wave 3 goes up in 5 waves, and then we have a prolonged corrective, whatever. Like we just have to count and contemplate the future. And then you'll be looking for, because realistically, I'm thinking by the end of April that this tops out at the very latest, and then we're in a corrective phase, and then you have the last phase. And so to get to higher prices, you have to get through the golden pocket, you have to get through the yearly level, you have to get through quite a large amount of confluence. I think the sooner the better. The sooner we can get through that level, the better, because it means that the next time we go for it, it'll be easier. And the sooner we can flip 9 cents, the better for us. And so I really don't want to be stuck underneath 9 cents and go into next year. I really don't want to do that. I don't think that'll be fun. I think it'd be nice to break 9 cents and then come for a back test, rather than to try and get through resistance when you're trying to impulse for an impulsive move, because actually you've got some serious key resistance that still needs to be overcome, right? So there are some kind of contemplations and things that we're thinking about here, and I think it's largely to do with the impending alt season and the vigor of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin is showing a lot of strength, but at the same time, the rest of the market hasn't really caught up with Bitcoin's strength. Does Bitcoin need to kind of go sideways for a few months, for a couple of months, and then for alt season to go a little bit mental? Maybe. Okay, and maybe that's what we're waiting for. No one really knows. So this is kind of the alternative, and that would kind of end one there. You just got to be careful with with one ending there, because technically speaking, as long as you don't take out the 0, this next kind of pullback could actually come much lower than people expect. Yeah, and then you're looking for a wave 3. If the wave 3 is smaller than the 1, then you're looking for a smaller 5. That won't get us to higher prices. And so I am thinking higher prices as well. So yeah, so there's lots of things to think about. So that's kind of TRVL as far as the charts are concerned. And then also someone actually sent me on Telegram earlier on today. What was it that they sent me? It was what was quite interesting. Naveen sent me this. So there've been some transactions between TRVL and Coinbase recently. Let me show you. He sent me this. $11 days ago, Coinbase TRVL, latest 25 internal transaction. I don't really, 46 days ago, I don't really have much information as to what's going on, to be honest with you. I'm not, even though sometimes I do get a little bit of information ahead of time, I know nothing about this. I know that we're fully engaged on trying to get on Coinbase, and we're ticking all the boxes. I do know that the owner, the founder of Coinbase was a former employee, or the CEO of Coinbase is a former executive or something of Airbnb. So I know that there's some things that work in our favor, but at the same time, I have no idea about the timings, about when or if and when we're going to be on Coinbase. But I do know it's high on the list, and I think we have a really high chance of that happening, especially in the next kind of American presidency, where real world assets like TRVL will become, which are actual real businesses based on Web3, will actually become useful for the public, for the American public in the future. So I think it's going to happen. It's inevitable. I just don't know when. But he was saying, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is it soon? What are these transactions? I have no idea. I really don't know. But yeah, there are some transactions between the TRVL contract and Coinbase. So who knows? That's quite interesting. You know, buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't know. Anyway, so we got a couple of ideas with TRVL, and kind of what I was saying earlier. I don't want to what I was saying earlier is we are in a bit of a ABCDE here. Earlier on we were kind of going flat. I wasn't sure that we were going to get a pullback. It looks like, look, we're getting a little bit of a pullback now. So I don't think I was wrong in that in my analysis. So we just see what happens next. Okay, it's a very illiquid token, so I'm not really going to even try to time it, but you can see there is some kind of symmetry with the timings. I don't think it's accurate at all, but look, from there to there, I don't know, what did it get to? 1 to 1.618, 1 to the 618, the 618. So it's finding a pivot at the 618 at the moment. Let's see when the 618 is coming in. The 618 is basically coming in this evening. Yeah, sometime this evening we're going to kind of find if we find the support somewhere there, the 1-to-1 or the 618. You see it's tightening. You see TRVL, the whole range is tightening, and usually that preludes a breakout. Yeah, usually. And so the question now is, what kind of breakout are we going to get? We're going to get a vigorous breakout that's going to take us to 17 cents, or we're going to get a mediocre breakout that's going to take us to 9 cents. Okay, we'll see. All right.